We submit the assignment in my presence, not in the absence. Because that is your attendance form. And then the mark for the assignment. Before now, we are still looking at variables. And we have been able to look at, there should be no noise, you can pass the assignment back to the owner. Sit by sit, the way you pass your attendance.
You know, the type assignment. You're supposed to watch that person. You're supposed to work for your life.
If the person in the type assignment, I mean, have the spirit of faith. As if the mark will be based on whether it is typed or handwritten. Are you not so able typing their notes with computer in the class? Someone is typing his computer in the class, what will you do? Will you not type his assignment and just print? When my son was in final year, I gave him a laptop. Before final year, I gave him a laptop. Final year, I gave him a printer. So if he now prints, it's now, will you give him extra man?
Not necessarily.
I think it's supposed to be one other person. We look at the various attributes of variables. We have looked at name, we have looked at address, we have looked at type, we have looked at value. And today, by God's grace, we'll be looking at lifetime achievement. Lifetime achievement. Lifetime. Lifetime. Lifetime is an attribute of a variable defined by its association with memory location. Defined by its association with memory location. It is the physical time between when a variable is binded to memory and unbound from memory. The time between when it is binded to memory and unbound from memory. Just like human being too. The time between when you are born and when you die. Is that okay? So that is so the meaning is not good. So that is lifetime. So one key attribute that define lifetime is binding. Is that okay? That association of the variable to what? A physical memory location. Are we okay? So when during the lifetime of a variable, the variable is said to be available. During the lifetime of a variable, the variable is said to be what? Available. But it is possible that a variable is available and yet it is not accessible. It is possible that a variable is available and yet it is not accessible. When I was doing my master's then, reading like a mad dog, and I was just studying something, and then somebody came to knock on my door. He said he's looking for me. He knocked and knocked and knocked. And I came out. I said, please, I'm not at home. And he said, but I'm seeing you. I said, I'm not at home. I went inside again. He still knocked, and my son that came out, a small child then. I said, did you not hear? He said, he's not at home. My dad is not at home. The reality is that I was available, but I was not accessible. So I use that illustration to just drive home the point that it is possible that you are available and you are not accessible. So a variable can be binded to memory, and yet it will not be possible for you to what? Access it. Because it is not in its scope. Because it is not what? In its scope. Yes, during lifetime, that space in memory has been what? Assigned. Is that okay? Yeah. That does not mean that you can what? Access it or make use of it. But before it is accessible, it must first be what? Available. Can you see it now? So that's scope. Scope. The scope of a variable is the area of the code what? The code. Or logical time in execution. Or logical time in execution in which that variable can be accessed. In which that variable can be accessed or operated on, in bracket, put use. So that's scope. In a code, because people think that scope is only textual. As I say, textual and logical time in what? In space. It is possible for some programming language that uses, for example, if in a code you call a subprogram. So that period, although in the code this is a code, this is a statement, this is a statement, this is where this point is where you call the program. Now at this point, you may not see the textual space actually, where that variable can be what? Accessed. But when you now invoke this particular subprogram, that variable cannot be what? Accessed. That's what we say textual space or logical time in execution. Or logical time in execution. The concept of scope brings us to three additional types of variables. Three additional types. One, local variable. Two, global variable. And three, non-local. That is why last year I asked them, and they were wondering. I said they should describe only six types of variables. And some were lamenting that I told them only 4. Some said I told them only 3. But I said they should describe 6 types of variables, giving their features, merits, demerits, implementation. It is the implementation I'm giving to you as what? As assignment. I'm not saying it will come again. However, what you should know is that it can come again. It has always come. But when it comes, you seldom know it. That it is He that came. Well, if you check the questions, it's almost the same thing over the year, but sometimes you can call with first scarf, first scarf, they can wear agbada, they can wear suit, they can wear shopping cars, you forget about what is putting on dress, and then you will see that it's the same person. And that is one thing that can, you boys, men, as you become men, that is one thing that can stop you from spirit of lust. Just see anybody and undress immediately and say that every person is the same. Remove the makeup, remove the hair, just remove everything, and you will see that the one that is even making up is even on there. So it will help you, because what destroys men and great men is lust. Don't say it's women, for your mother is one. But it is what? Lust. And so what you can do is you undress. So the way the question comes is the context in which you will answer it. And when gospel is marking, it marks in context. So if not because of anybody, I will say, okay, carry your notes in. So when I look at this variables now, I will because I just made that comment because some people were saying, I did not. So 4 plus 3. I was not asking 6. Thank you. Local variable. A variable is said to be local. If it is only accessible within a sub-program, a variable is said to be local if it is only accessible within a sub-program. Where it is defined. Where it is defined. Like me now, there is a dent in my academic pursuit. BSc, Benin. MSc, Benin. PhD, Benin. Thank you for that. Yeah. And somebody told me one day, who was also BSc, MSc, PhD, Benin. He said, "Should get out a local professor." And you think that word did not get to me? What does it? It did. And that is why I will do any mystical work, any political work, any academic work, any spiritual work, good work and bad work, to ensure that the name University of Benin is in the global map. For if that name falls, I have fallen. And if that name rises, I have risen. And that is the true spirit of an alumni. You think you are graduated 30 years ago? No. If you never falls, those that graduated 30 years ago, it's as if your degree has what? Fallen. And if you graduate now, in 30 years' time, Uniben rises, your degree value has risen. For example, I published in a journal. The journal, when I published in the journal, that journal was just indexed by Scopus. My joy in that journal then was that the publisher is Elsevier. Elsevier was a reputable what? Publisher. In about 3 years, I published the journal. The journal became indexed in Web of Science. The journal became ranked in Scimago. And the journal is now Q1 in the world. That is the highest category of what? Journal. That my paper now is what? A Q1 journal. The value of the paper is what? Rising by the day. And the value of that journal is what? Rising. And that also taught me a lesson. So what some of you are saying, I will discipline you. And somebody called me this morning. And I said, well, don't worry. After I've finished with you, when you become president, don't forget to deal with me. But for now, I'm to discipline you. When you become president, so what am I saying? So when I'm disciplining you, I'm not saying you will not become anybody. I'm even reminding you that you can be my president. That this same thing, I will do it again. So in other words, I'm conscious of my actions and inactions. Because some of you don't know. That's why I told part-time. If you are a courtist, keep your courtesy outside the University of Benin. Because if people misbehave too much as courtists, which you are not the only one that is courtist in the world, your university will be tagged courtist university. And anywhere you go, you'll be called courtist. People interview, they'll say, where are you from? You say, Uniben. Say, we don't know the meaning of that, we call it candy. Like some people will now be talking and be insulting the vice chancellor anyhow and everything. You are insulting who is now the emblem, the model of what? Of the university. There are some issues I would have fought in the department and made it public. But I said no. Uniben is greater than me. What I say? Uniben is greater than me. And that is how some of you should also know when you are fighting your country. The country is greater than you. When you are just in the embassy, you don't misbehave. They give you visa to go to Cameroon, to Switzerland. When you get to Switzerland, you begin to steal and rob. You want to make immediate work, blocking the chances of those hundreds and millions coming after you. And when they start dealing with them, that will say it's Nigeria. Not knowing that it's brothers that were there before. Stole. The second one, stole. The third one, stole. And those people now conclude that Nigerians are thieves. Tell your pastors they should start preaching morality and they should stop preaching prosperity. The country is dying. That wealth does not last. Wealth is useless. Wealth does not last. Wealth is useless. The true wealth is when you pursue character, pursue excellence. Every other thing before. That's what Christ was trying to say. Seek ye first the kingdom of God, and every other thing will follow. Of what use is your wealth when after 10 years the medium or mechanism you got that wealth is destroying your people? Of what use? Of what use is you doing rituals to make wealth, and then they begin to tag your daughter, the daughter of a ritualist? You know the stigma that goes on years and years and years and years and years. Of what use becoming a prostitute to make money? And then all your relations, they see them as the brothers and sisters of prostitutes. Of what use? It's embezzling our money. Even if you are our governor today, we know that you are a thief. A thief is a thief. When you live there, they know that you are a thief. They will worship you now because of poverty to get a little from what you stole. But while they are eating that your little, they know that you are a thief. So that is what is bringing your country down. Not that you people don't have intelligence. You people have intelligence. You people are very gifted. But you people see, You are fast to make wet. That was you are fast. Somebody made me angry. Just made me angry one period. And I said, okay, I will prove to you that I have the energy to cause work to happen. I said, but you have to choose long life, the greatness of your children, above any immediate gain. But what do we do in this country? So please, you are a product of the University of Benin now. Know that you have a burden in your shoulder. If the university goes down, you go down. And the university rises, you rise. Is that okay? And that is the role of alumni. In most universities in the world, Harvard and others, if you see how much alumni are contributing and donating, if you see what alumni are doing, like you'll be working tomorrow in a company, you want to take people for IT or job, you see how you struggle to make sure that people from Uniben get something to play, because you want to show that, yes, Uniben is. So it's just normal. So please, so that word local, very time I mention it, it reminds me that I am local. It reminds me that what? No, I'm not the first. There are people that went to Harvard, first degree Harvard, second degree Harvard, third degree Harvard. You praise them, Abi. No, you praise them, Abi. Because the Harvard itself is not a local building. So look at, when we're talking about local here, we said it can only be assessed where it is defined. Are you okay? It can only be assessed where it is defined. So, you understand? So now, take note of that. Forget about the story, the joke, don't worry, record it inside. But what we are saying is that take note of the local variable. Is that okay? It's only accessible within some program where they are usually defined. But there's an issue. And that will lead to an assignment. I did not force you to come. Let me give you an instance. If some of you were close to me yesterday, you will see that I wore Christmas clothes and Christmas shoes. From morning to night, we were busy, we were supporting the VC on how to get grant to see how it can support the university, because the woman is so passionate about making this university a world-class university. And to do that, you need what? Money. So if you can tell your parents if they have money for us, we'll give them honorary doctorate degree. If your parents can give us some billions of naira. If your parents can give us some billions of naira, I can assure you, for Faculty of Physical Science, we will recommend you for honorary doctorate degree of maybe finance. No, we'll look at this whole area of there's a committee of that. Is that okay? If you can give us, so we'll give you honorary doctorate degree. We'll give you honorary doctorate degree. But if there's honorary in it, is that okay? We'll call you doctor, but you cannot write as PhD. But that is the truth. We really need help and we need support. Is that okay? Yes, sir. Now let's go ahead. Now look at this statement. You say S is equal to Y. Int. Sorry. S is equal to 10. Int S is equal to 10. Sorry, 30. Here you say C out. S. Here you say C out. S. Try and run something like this. A C, C++ or Java. And let us see what we have. Can we call here y? Now let this be in a small soft routine, like a method. Is that okay? Is that okay? Is that okay? Let us see what will happen. You will make some observation. And the observation will be very interesting to you. You know, we are saying I'm putting it here. Okay. Now, don't declare the y as a global variable. Is that okay? In the global variable, I have some. If we're using PowerPoint to teach, I have it in PowerPoint to demonstrate. Now, what we are saying is that you will observe that do it like this for me. Y equal to 10, C out S. Int S equal to 30, C out S, C out Y. And this should be inside the method. Is that okay? Is that okay? You can declare Y and S as global variable now. And let us go now, you are declaring int as what? S again. S as int again. Inside the local. Let us see what happens. You will learn the following. You will learn, apply it to C. In C, right? Apply it to C++. Apply it to C sharp. Apply it to Java. Apply it to Python. You may not do all. That's why you want to do this assignment. Let some of you do it and then you do your group. Is that okay? Your discussion, when you do your discussion, you will see some observation. Now this language, this next father, they behave, you see the behavior height. Now listen. You will not learn that even if a variable has been declared as global, when it is declared again as local, it may override the global. That is why even if you are God in your office, when you get to somebody's office, be humble, because it's the God of that place. Are you okay? Are you okay? So you can get what you want. At least very easy. Instead of him stressing you too much. Is that okay? So you will observe. Now, you also try, don't declare S and Y as global variable. You will see what will happen when you print S. You will observe, you see here, S was used before it was declared. Is that also? The rule is that as long as it's a language, particularly C, Java and C++, as long as it is declared inside that local location, it can be accessed. Is that what we said? Is that what we said? But the rule of the language is saying that a variable does not exist until it is defined. Is that also? What you say int S, that's the beginning until it is what? Defined. True or false? True or false? Good. Now at this place, it is not what? Defined. Let us say that you will do it two ways. Declare Y and S as global, then do it again. Don't declare Y and S as global. Are we okay? Yes. You will see some, then do your discussion. So if you see you are compatible with your function, is that okay? If it's only so you are compatible with your method, you will see that the behavior varies. What do we learn? What we are to learn is that it is true that a variable may be accessible within the location in which it was declared, if it is declared inside that location. But it is Some other language rules may override that. To not be, even in the location, it is from the moment it is defined. Even in the sub-program, whether method or function, it is in the what? From the moment it was what? Defined. That it can be what? Accessed after that moment. Are we okay? So that is for this. Now try this again. Try this again. Just put any statement. In this, in C++, C Sharp, and Java, and Python, you will also make some observation. Then when you try this one for int s, you will not try this one int s for int s equal to 0 or equal to 1. S equal to 0, S less than 30, S plus plus. Try it in some language. There's a difference between this and this. You will see, the letter here, just say C out. S. Then here, after you finish, say C out. S. You will see some, you will also have an observation to make. What is the observation that you will make? Int was declared inside the sub-program block. Is that not so? S was declared inside the sub-program. Here it was not what? It was not declared, defined, I believe. It was defined inside here. Here it was not defined. You will see that in language you can print this S, but here there will be problem. As some of you have been writing, you don't even know the difference between declaring it inside and declaring it outside. The advantage of making variable local is that when the block or the locality we're talking about is no longer in execution, that variable can be released. Unlike when it is global, it will be perpetually tied down until the entire program stops executing. So know what you are doing and why you are doing what you are doing. So this one now will save memory space for you more compared to here. But you want to do it like this if you will need the S outside the block. But if you will not need the S outside the block, there is no need to do it like this. Depending on what you are you seeing it now? So when you are declaring it inside and you are not declaring it inside, you should have a reason why you are doing so. But before now, I'm not sure you have a reason. You just do it based on what? Convenience. Are we okay? So look at those things in the language. What is God's power saying? When you are studying the language, you must ensure you test the behavior or how they handle local variables. For in different language, the way they handle local variables differs. Are we okay? Are we okay? Are we okay? Local variables, they are very good and useful when you know that the variable will only be used and should only be used within a language block. That block will be a construct statement. It could be a subprogram. Are we okay? Are we okay? So that you can write optimal code that might make maximum use of memory, optimal use of memory and what? Space. Are we okay? So try this code, just play with this code. Play with them, play with them. Play with them. You are already programmed. Then that is advantage of local variables. They help encourage variable reuse. I follow the variable, put space. They help to they encourage variable reuse. In front of the variable, put memory space. They encourage memory reuse, variable reuse. In the course of program execution. In the course of program execution. So that is one variable. One variable can be used how many times? Multiple times. You can use it. The same variable S, you will use it. The same variable S, you will use it many times. You know that it is at that time in the block. It's only in the block it will be accessible. Is that okay? So, like in this variable now, immediately the function, the first statement start executing, this thing will be created. Lifetime will start. At the end, at this place, it will die. Do you understand that? But here, before here, it will be born, and even after here, it will still be alive. So the lifetime, it transcends beyond here. That's what I told you before. That for able to be accessible, it first of all has to be what? But it can be available and yet not accessible. Are you okay? So, you know, if it's a global variable, you declare variable as global, you cannot use that variable again. True or false? True or false? But local variable will allow you to use one variable multiple times for multiple purposes as you need it. Because you know its life will come and what? And go. But the disadvantage is that it is only usable. Disadvantage. It's only usable within a restricted location. It's only usable within a restricted location, and it is not history sensitive. And it is not history sensitive. It is only usable within a location, and it is not history what sensitive. So, if your purpose is not to keep history, what do? You make it local. You make it local. Then we have the global variable. A global variable is accessible anywhere in the program. Anywhere. It is accessible anywhere where in the program. It is always good to declare global variable as static. It's always good to declare local variable as what? Static. You know why now? Yes, you know. They are mostly used to track. They are mostly used for history as history sensitive variables. Global variables are mostly used as what? History sensitive variables. The disadvantage is that whether they are in use or not in use, that memory is tied down. Whether they are in use or not in use, that memory is what? Tied down. But alas, some programming language support situation where you can use local variable to temporarily suspend the use of what? A global variable. If you reuse the variable declared as a local variable, the local variable will always take precedence over what? The global variable. So, so the memory is tied down. Global variable ties memory down, whether it is in use or not. Whether it is in use or not, it ties it down. You see it now? Code. Whether it is in use or not, it ties it down. So you don't declare a variable as global, and you should not, except you want to use it to track the certain things throughout the program. Are we okay? Are we okay? Otherwise, you are tying down that space. You know, professionals are not just after so far it works. We are after how well it works, and it's using minimal possible resources for it to do the work. Do you understand? Yeah, so you can do it global. Things will be working for you, no problem. But we are saying it is wasting what? It's wasting space. Because that space will just declare as global. It will be reserved all through the lifetime of that program. And if there are many, you have tied down so much memory space. Then if a variable is not global, local, and it's not global, then it is non-local. Non-local means that it is accessible within, not in all parts of the program or in all blocks of the program, but in some block, but definitely beyond one. Beyond one block. That means this variable can be accessed outside the block it is in which it is defined, but not in all the blocks. Are you okay? Yes, it's non-local. As of language, I have some modifiers for this. You see, like all those of Java, C#, they have modifiers. Say protected, public, private. All these are specifying to that variable or to that construct where and when it can be what? Accessed. You know, public is everywhere. Public is very dangerous because it can be hacked. I hope you know. Protected is for no more than one. But for those that are within the family, and private only here. So most time, within a block, when you declare some, those people that support modifier, I always say it's private. It means can only be used within that block. And that's why we tell you, men and women, let your private part be private. Is that okay? Keep your private part private. You will dress, you leave your pocket. You will dress, you leave your breast. Some of you boys that are very proud, because you know that you have chest, you have hair in your chest. You dress, let your private as private. I know I'm waiting for your time. Okay. So that is that brings to the end of variable. Any question, whatever you don't know later, you can ask him during the revision time or non-local. I don't know. It's not local, it's not local. But definitely cannot be used for history rating like program. But it has a wider scope than what? It's still not history rating. But it has a wider scope than what? Hey! It has a wider scope. Somebody asked a question. Hello. Tomorrow now you say you are relevant product. So I produce great people. We are root Lagos. I hope you know Fashola. Yeah? The most powerful state in the country, we are root. We are root, is it Jigawa? The governor of Jigawa and the student here. At the time, economists. And I'm warning you, in 15, 20 years, you come and meet me that I should borrow you money. I'll bust it to your face. And that's what I'm teaching you. I'm also advising you. Go and become president, governor, ministers, head of IT firms. So that when I say, how is our product? If you come and tell I know I will say you're not university. I will not deny you. Yeah? So that, you say what?